Okay, yeah. So we are starting with DOM today. So DOM basically means document objects model. So it's just a way of, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So it's just a way of manipulating the what's it called, our web page. Let me look for a pictorial. You can all see my screen, right?
Yes.
HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I want to, is this, yeah. Let me go back. There's this example I'm looking for. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So now we can see, go off. So we can see this picture, right?
Yes.
So this is basically what a web page is like. So now HTML is just like a skeleton, yeah. Then that's our, what's it called, HTML tags, p tags, h1, h2, blah blah blah. Then when we now give it what's it called, we can see how ugly it looks when you just put only HTML on a web page, yeah. So now when we give it CSS, yeah, now become more beautiful but not functional. So HTML plus CSS, now you just like write a couple of HTML tags, design it with CSS, yeah. Then now the JavaScript now will not give you that functionality. So in this situation, now JavaScript is the brain, yeah. So after what's it called, designing your HTML, you style it with your CSS, looking beautiful. Then that functionality, yeah, that functionality when you want to like lift up your hand, sit down, run, sleep, walk, hit, that functionality, yeah, is JavaScript. So in this situation now, that functionality you want to give to a web page, probably you click a button, a color will change, or you want to click a button and the text inside will change, or you want to like click a button and call one API or whatever. So that functionality is what JavaScript does. So now for us to now do that functionality now, we have what we call DOM manipulation. Yeah. So this DOM manipulation now is when you click a button, yeah, or when you like what's it called, over a text, and you see the text color will change and the likes. So that's what we call DOM manipulation. So like this page now, yeah. So if I should click this button now, let me submit a form. So I've manipulated the page. Or when I click this button, let this text here change. Yeah. So that is what DOM is. So let's start with some examples. It's better I split this screen this way. Okay. So yeah, should I use this? Okay, let me use this. So let's say we have okay, let me use this button here. So let's say we have this sign out button here. Now, if you can remember when we did HTML, so part of the attributes of that we can give tags either ID or class name. Yeah, so these are the kind of properties we'll be using to like target those elements that want to like fetch or use to do anything. So take for instance, now we have this button. Let's give it an ID. Let's say Malik. Yeah. So now if I should go back to my JavaScript now, I can do something like let button equals to document dot get element by ID. Just put Malik. Yeah. So I can say console.log Malik. Sorry, button. Because I save this button inside a variable button, or I can put button test. Button test. Yeah. So that it won't get confused. Yeah. Sorry if my VS Code, I think I changed the themes of my VS Code, so the color is looking different. I can't even remember the last one I'm using. Preference, color theme. I don't know. Okay, I think it's this one. So now if I should check my console now.
Sorry to cut you, Malik. I actually think, well, don't know, Sha, but I actually think the white one is better because it's brighter. One can see it clearer.
Yeah, because of my eyes. That's why I don't like using the white.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Why is this returning null? Button test document that gets elements by ID. The ID is Malik. Oh, Buki is still complaining that she can't come in. Shay, is this link right?
Yes. Yes.
With a non-unique ID. Have I used it before? Oh. Oh, sorry. Is it throwing an error? Document that gets elements by ID. It be my browser. Oh, something is not right. Something is not right. Yeah, they're returning now. Last name is working. Why is ID not working? Document content element. Is it element or element? It's element by ID. Why is ID not working? Hey, sorry, I want to like sort out why this thing is not working. It's not supposed to be like this.
No worries.
Document dot get element by ID should work. Why is it not working? Why? Dot class is working. Dot element is not working. Why? 84. by ID demo. And demo does all this. Wow, this is strange. Before the DOM is ready, so click the event, it's not getting attached to it. Okay. Yeah, it's not working. Because this is so sorry guys. So as a programmer, when things are not working, you know they are supposed to work, like you should be curious why they are not working. So it's because what's it called? The JavaScript is loading first, even before the page mounts on the browser. That's why. But then that of the class is working. JavaScript can be funny sometimes. Oh, so let's go back.
Sorry, isn't this why they said we should be putting it at the bottom of like
Yeah,
the
yes, so that the
or will
browser,
it be far?
yeah, so that the browser can just finish loading the HTML and CSS before the JavaScript. Yeah, that's one of the reasons. Yeah. So we should be sometimes you be always curious why things are not working so that you kind of like figure it out. Um, okay, yeah, so we can continue now. So we have a button. What is that button? Jane. So let me change this to Jane. Okay, yeah. So it's working fine now. So now let's now assume we want to, like, let's say we have okay, we have a p tag here already. Let's say the content is web with 3 ladies. Yeah. So now this button now, I can like say, okay, when I click on it, let something happen. So we can say, okay, whenever I click this button, I want to put something on the console. So one of the ways we can do that is by attaching a function to it that, okay, you say when this button is clicked, let something happen. So we have a lot of attributes that you can do when it comes to event list. Okay, they are called event listeners. So whenever you are working with DOM, you will be hearing things like event listener, that like click, on double click, on over, add event listener. So we have a lot of them. So these are methods that you can I want to see if I can see the lists of everything. Okay, but let's just work with these three. But we have a lot of them. Probably I will just look for a list of them, then put it on the Slack. Let's just work with these three for now. So now these event listeners will now be listening to the, what's it called, to the elements that we are going to attach them to, that, okay, if this thing happen, do this. If this thing, do this. So now here, now on online 872, yeah, I did document.get element by ID. So this element, now I target this element Jane, which is a button. Then I stored it in a variable Malik. Then I console log this. Then I did the same thing for class name also. That one is a div. Yeah, this is a div. Then we'll console log. Let me put something. New nation. Yeah. So now we have two. So we have three elements. We have a button, we have a text here, and we have another text div. I think this one is okay, paragraph, then a div. So now this Malik now, I can say, okay, whenever I click on this button now, let something happen. So this thing that is going to happen is what we call event listener. So this event listener now, you always listen to it and say, okay, well, this event now, what kind of event is this? Is it mouse over? Is it on click? Is it mouse out? So now if I should say, this my document now, this Malik now, which is what? Which is, no, Jane, sorry. Yeah, Jane, this is a button now. So now I stored it in a variable. So we are expecting a button. This is a button. Yeah. So now this button, now if I should click on it, I want something to happen. So what I will do is I will now say Malik dot add event listener. So what's the event that I want to listen to? I want to listen to the event click. That if I click on this button, do something. So that thing is going to do is going to be a function. Normally it's called a callback function. We all know what a callback function is, right? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So basically a callback function is a function that is inside a function that's if you call a function, yeah, and you want that function to do another thing again, like fetch another function from somewhere. So that function now, that second function is a callback function. Take for instance, now I have a function, let me say const, let me do arrow function equals to this. Yeah, this is a function, right? So now if I should put another function inside this place now, inside here, I think it's going to be inside here. I think it's going to be, is it going to be inside here? I think it's going to be inside the main function. If I should have another function inside here like this and say, okay, Malik. So this is like a callback function. Yeah. So now this function that will be attaching here now is what we call a callback function. So now if I should say function click me. Yeah. So I can now come here now and create that function. Const click me. So let's log what's my name. Yeah. So now whenever I click this this Malik button now, an event will be triggered. Yeah. No, whenever I click this Malik, like this what's it called? This Malik now is a button. So we add an event listener on it, and that type of event listener is click. Yeah. So it can be anything, it can be mouse out. There are a lot of them. I can't really remember much now, but I will Google some of them. So if I click it now, this function will be called. Yeah. So when we call this function, this is the function. It will just console.log what's my name on the console. So let's try it out. So now this is the button. You can see it's console.logging what's my name. So now what we did is put an event listener on the button Malik. So this is basically what DOM manipulation is. You try to like manipulate the DOM, the text on the web page. You can also take the what's it called, the example further. Instead of console login, I can say, okay, I want to change the value inside this to my name. Yeah. So now we can say, I can say, let my name equals to document dot get element by ID. What's the ID of that paragraph? Demo. Yeah. So I can say demo, and I can now come here and say my name, that's this variable now, dot inner text, inner HTML or inner text. They are basically the same thing. I can now say my name is Toy. Yeah. So now if I should click on this button now, this Malik now is coming from this document got get element by ID. So the ID is chain. That's this button. So I'm now telling the code, that the browser, that okay, fetch this element for me and store it in a variable Malik. So after storing it, we know that's a button. So I now came here and I say, okay, that button now add an event listener on it. So what type of event listener? I said click. So whenever I click on this button, let something happen. Yeah. So what's going to happen? Then this function. So I now come up here, declare the function. So inside the function now, and I'll say, okay, first of all, console.log was my name. And then I created a variable. Yeah. So this variable now is fetching this document.get element by ID. What we did previously is fetching this demo, is a paragraph. So when we get that paragraph, is a p tag. So when we get that paragraph now, so I want to access whatever is inside the p tag. So now, initially we have Web3 ladies inside the p tag, but now I want to change what's inside to my name is Joy. Yeah. So when I click this button now, I'm expecting this Web3 to change. Can we all see it? We can all see it, right? So can see that, yeah. So if I should refresh it now, it go back to what's it called? To Web3 ladies. Then if I should click it again, it changed to my name. So you can also make it dynamic. Let's say you want to make it dynamic now. I can say, okay, you call this click me with a name. So let's say my name is Lizzie.
Malik,
Yeah.
Malik, please can you explain again, please?
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm lost. Oh, I don't get it.
Okay. Let's go to Twitter. Here's my Twitter page. Okay, yeah, this is my Twitter page, right? Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now I want to tweet something. This is me tweeting from class. Yeah. Can we all see it?
Yes.
So if I should click this button now, you see that something will happen. You can see that. Can we all see what happened?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So when I click the button now, the text I wrote inside here, yeah, the person that wrote the code base of Twitter, yeah, just took what I put inside this text, yeah, use it to call one API, send it somewhere, yeah, then it's returned what's it called, a response, and the person now display this response here. That's the functionality. Yeah. So what the person did is to manipulate the DOM. Yeah. Allow me to enter text here. Then when I click this button now, you can see that the button now is what's it called? Is faded out. I can't click on it because I've not written anything here. That's like validation. So if I should start typing now, it becomes blue. You can see that even this is moving. So it's more of like, okay, they can't allow me to write more than, you can see, I can't write more than probably maybe 80 or 100 text. Yeah, so these are DOM manipulations. Yeah, so if I should click this what's it called now, this button now, yeah, so now something will now happen. So they manipulated the DOM. That's what we are trying to do. So the your web page now, they are just basically HTML and CSS. So the HTML for the text and everything, you can see the button, the LI and H1, H2, yeah. So the CSS is just to beautify it. But that functionality now is JavaScript that will give you that functionality. Yeah. So now those functionalities now, there are sometimes that you want to click a button, you want to scroll. If I should like this tweet now, an API will be called. So if I should click this like button now, you see that something will happen. Can you see? Can we all see? An API call was made to to Twitter API. You can see http twitter.com/i/API. So they are using GraphQL. Yeah. So now an API was called. So now this what's it called now? This tweet now. So they were able to like target this tweet and assign a like to it. Yeah. Let me see if the response. Okay, their response is much. So what I'm trying to say is that the DOM manipulation now is what will give it what's it called? Will give you that functionality, that interaction between you and the browser. Yeah. So that's what we are trying to like to what's it called? To demonstrate here. Yeah. So now I have a button. Yeah. So I have a button. My HTML, I have a button, this, and I have a paragraph, and I have a div, which are these three elements. Yeah. So I want to make this a little bit functional in such a way that if I should click this button, let the text inside it change to anything. Yeah. So now I can now say, okay, first of all, let me get that element first. Yeah. Let me get that element. So what I did is, how do you get the element? You do documents.getElement by ID. Yeah. So we have a lot of DOM methods. So we have document.getElement by ID. So what it does is to fetch any element you have on the web page by the ID. Yeah. So I can have another button by ID, let's say joy, by ID Ima, by ID Abdul. Yeah. So you can give it any ID you want. So you can fetch, you can just have access to any of these buttons by their ID. So once you do document.getElement by ID, so it's going to go through what's it called, the page, and check the ID of every element. Which one is Jane, which one is Joy, which one is Ima, which one is Abdul. Then it's going to fetch it for us. Then we also have dot get element by tag name, and we also have dot get element by class name also. So tag name is maybe like p tag now, or li, or div. You can also get element by that. Let's assume you have 3 p tags now and you want to target the 3 of them at the same time. So you can use dot get element by tag name. Then we also have what's it called, by class name. We have class here, example. So you can also get an element by tag name. So these are ways that you can get these are ways that you can get elements from the browser. So now, after getting this particular element by ID, is a button, yeah, by name Jane. So I want to store it in a variable. That's when I said, okay, let Malik equals to document dot. So now when I fetch this document, now it's a button, then I now assign that button to Malik. Yeah. So anywhere we call Malik now, we are expecting a button to show on the console. So let's go back to our console. We can see a button here. Can we all see it? So it's telling us that it's a button by ID Jane. So, but we named it Malik. The reason do be I stored Jane, the button by ID Jane, into the variable Malik. Then I now display Malik on the console. Yeah. So now I want to like attach a functionality to this button. Like if you look at this button now, let me comment out the rest. If you see this button now, if I should click it, it's not doing anything. Like I'm clicking it now, we are not seeing anything on the console. But I want it to be functional. Like this Twitter owner, if I should click this button now, and see it's not doing anything because it has been disabled because I didn't write anything here. If I should start writing something here now, you see that it's now enabled. So now the button now is not doing anything. So I want to like make the button to do something. So what I will do is I will now target the button and I'll say, okay, Malik dot add event listener. So basically event listener is like what is listening is paying attention to the button. Like, okay, is the button doing anything? Yeah, is it supposed to do something? Yeah, oh yeah, what's that thing? So when you're talking about event listener now, we have a lot of them. We have let me list of events listeners in JavaScript.
Okay, Malik, is like you're giving an instruction to an element, right? That
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that it should do this, do that, do this, do that. So we have mouse event, touch events. I want a comprehensive list. Maybe I'll have to like compile one myself.
You can use the W3 school.
Yeah, the one I'm seeing there is just they just have like 3 or 5 examples. But maybe I'll compile. I'll compile the list. So now let's just work with the 3 examples we have for now. So where are we? So now I want to add event listener to this button and say, okay, when I click this button, let something happen. Yeah. So, and one way we can do that is by saying Malik dot add event listener. Then so what type of event are we looking at now? Okay, even the browsers, we see we have blur, can play through, change, click, close, compose, probably there are lots you don't really hear. We have drag, and drag over. Probably come and copy it from here. So the ones that you probably see most of the time is click, then focus. You will always come across focus, key down and key down and key up and key press. You come across that also. Then mouse down and mouse enter. You come across that also. Mouse over, yeah. So now in this situation, let's use mouse over. Yeah, there are a lot of them actually. So if you want to get this list, once you type this, what's it called, add event listener, and this quotes, just press Control space on your keyboard. It's going to bring out the list of so let's do mouse over. Yeah. So now what I'm trying to say is that when I mouse over on that button, do something. So what's that thing that the what's it called, the code is going to do? So function my mouse over. So now this my mouse over now is going to be a function. Yeah. So we need to create this what's it called, this function. Then we'll come here and say const this. That's okay. Console.log me playing with my laptop mouse. Yeah. So I can now save. So now if I should mouse over on this button now, be looking at the console, you are going to see what's going to happen. Can you see? If I should mouse in, can you see? You can see that the console is printing. But if I should mouse in and click, you can see that nothing is happening. But if I should mouse in, you can see something. So let me do another one again, the same one. So let's do click now. Click. Button click. Yeah. So let me say const button click. Console.log clicking button. Yeah. So now on this same element Malik, now we've done mouse over, then we attach click on it. So we've added two event listener now. So look at the console now. If I should mouse over now, you can see me playing with my laptop mouse. If I should click it now, you see, if I should click mouse over, click mouse over. So now I've added two events on what's it called, on the button, and
Malik, sorry, another
yeah.
question. Sorry. You said in a function that without a we must have return. So I'm saying that instead of the console.log, can we use return?
Yeah, you can use return. Lawyer, let's assume I want to return 2 plus 2. It's going to be 4. But then we can like display it. The only way we can display it is using what's it called, console. So now, because if I should click this now, we still not see it. So basically console will always just show us what we want, like for us to just see that okay, it's working. Assuming we are what way can I because we're actually not okay, let me just display the 2 plus 2, but it might not be only console. You can use return. Assuming I'm using, okay, let's do it this way. Okay, let's do it this way. Okay, this function now will return 2. Then I can save the value. Okay, let's do it this way. So this new nation now, let me say my function result instead of new nation. My function results. Yeah, so we have my function result. So what I want to achieve is whenever I click this button, let it take the answer from this my function and put it inside this my function result. So I want to like target what's it called, document dot get element by, what did we save it with, by class name. Yeah, so get element by class name. And what's the class name? Example. Let me save it in let result equals to document.get element by ID. So now I want to call this function will always return something. So let me say let my function equals to, I call this function. So now I'm expecting a value from this function, then I save it in my function. So I'll now take this guy now, result dot inner results dot inner text equals to my function. Yeah. So let's try this. So now if I should click this button now, I'm expecting this function, my function to change to 4. Yeah, that is not working. Malik results. Okay, let me console.log answer my function. Okay, the answer we are getting 4 from the answer, but is the inner HTML that is not working. So when I click the button, document.get elements by class name example. Let me console.log result also and see if it's coming here. .div, let me use ID. Example 2. Example 2. It's not getting it. Inner HTML, my function. Doesn't want me to put it in a function. So if I click this, if I click on this, this is getting here. I can get this, I can get this. Then results dot okay, let me try. Web3 ladies ID demo. I don't know why this is not reaching here.
Honestly, I have a question.
Yeah, go on, please.
This event add event listener, the second
Yeah.
property in the bracket, must it always be a function that is passed in it?
Yes, it must always be a function. Yeah,
All right, thank you.
yeah. So it's like a cover function. So I don't know why this is not coming on. But yeah,
Sorry,
but
Mali,
yeah,
please, I don't know what this inner HTML is. Can you please explain?
yeah. So
Thank you.
what inner HTML does is like after fetching the what's it called? Like after fetching this div or p now, this is the inner HTML. Okay, I think I'm not even supposed to
So
use
your
inner HTML.
target whatever text is inside the
Yes,
tag.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
So yeah, but from the question, the person that asked that, can we use return? You can see that yeah, the return is going to work. Yeah, this is 2 plus 2. Let me say 2 plus 23. So we'll get 25. So the return will always work also. So I console log what's it called? My function from getting this. That's what I got from this. Yeah. So but I don't know why it's not picking the what's it called? The value. I wanted like to pick this target this div, then put my inner text in it. Let's okay, let's another result equals to I was getting it now. This dot inner you get okay, probably it's not loading before but then let's just skip it because of time. Yeah, but ideally the function is going to like return a value, so you can always use a return keyword in a function. Yeah, so then the last one is let's try what's it called, let's try mouse out. There's also mouse out. So when I over out, I can say kick me out. And let me declare the function here. So yeah, this is basically what DOM is. But yeah, there are a lot of event listener that you can apply to. So if I should click this button now, you see when I over it, okay, let me start again. You see when I over it, you see me playing with my laptop mouse. That's the first event listener. So when I click, you can see me clicking the button. Then if I should take the mouse out now, it's going to call the third function, kick me out. So yeah, so that's event listener. So you can now use this button now to do anything you want to do on the page. So I might want to say, okay, this Web3 now, anytime I click this button, I want the text in it to change. Okay, so I can now say, go back to where's Web3. So the ID is demo. So I can say document dot get element by id demo, then inner. Okay, don't know why it's not bringing it out. Maybe because it's out of a function. That's why the other one is not working. Inner HTML to be equals to now button click. So let's do the same thing for mouse out. Mouse out and mouse over. Let's do the same thing for mouse over. So over. So if I should save this now, so let's watch what is going to happen. Let's focus our eyes on the Web3, what's it called, Web3 ladies. So if I should over the button now, can we see the text changed? We can all see the text changed. Yeah, that's because I targeted the text inside, then I put over on it. So if I should click it now, it's going to change again. Button click. So if I should take the mouse out now, the text will change again. Mouse out. So we can see, yeah, we can see how it's changing. So now I can just use this what's it called, this functionality on the page to do whatever I want. I can even go ahead and say, okay, whenever I click the button, I want to alert something. Alert hello world. So this is basically the way what's it called, event listener works. So this is it. If I should click it now, you can see hello world. Yeah, button click. So that's so you can do anything. You can even put if statement inside the what's it called, the function. We've talked about function. You can put anything inside the function. It's going to do anything you talk about. So I will send a list of event listener that we have, and you can pretty much practice more about it. Yeah. So are we okay with event listener? DOM now, or it's still looking cloudy?
A bit. I believe with time to get better.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. What?
probably when we watch the recording, like we reversing so that we can be getting each of them very well.
Oh, okay. So I will try as much as possible to compile more lists. Then you can just try it. Just mouse over click. So you can play around. We can even change color. Okay, let's say this div now. This my function results. Where is it? Is a okay, let me create another button here. Change my color. Yeah. So now let me give it an idea of change. Yeah. So I can say whenever I click the button dot get element by id change, I can now say dot style I think dot is it background? Let's do background color. For this one, let's say it's going to be red. So let's do the same thing for mouse out. For mouse out, let's do green. So for which other one again? Mouse over. Let's do purple. So yeah. So anything you just think of, yeah, you can just what's it called? You can achieve it with DOM. Just think of it, write the logic, and boom, you're done. So now let's see what's going to happen to let's watch this change my color. You see, I'm clicking the button now, nothing is happening because I didn't target the button. I didn't give it an event listener for on click. I only targeted this what's it called, the hello world button. So let me over in now. You can see the color change to purple. That's because that's what we gave it. If I should click it now, alert, then change to red. That's because we have alert somewhere here. Let me remove the alert. Yeah, then if I should take it out, change to green. So I take it in purple, I click, it changes to red, I take it out, it changes to green. So basically anything you just feel like doing, it will just change it. So let's replicate that of Twitter. Let me do I think text area. Yeah. This order, write your tweet here. Then let's do paragraph where we'll put this thing. ID, my tweet. Yeah. So this button now, then click me. So now we want to, so this is, why am I having, okay, tweets. Yeah. Yeah. So what I want to achieve is I want to write something in this text area here. So when I click it, I want to tweet it so that it should show on my feed. Let my what's it called? My follower should see it. So now we have a button. Let's go back to our JS file. So we can say let's tweet button equals to document dot get element by ID. What's the name of the click me? Yeah. So now we can now say click me, no, tweet button dot add event listener. So what are we adding now? We want to add a click. Yeah. So when we click it, what should happen? We want to call a function, tweet function. Tweet function. So let's create this tweet function. Yeah. Console, yeah, sorry, const this. Yeah. So let's just test what we've done so far. It's working. So now let me click this button now. Yeah, it's working. So far we've gotten the, what's it called? We've gotten to this stage and it's working. So what I want to do is I want to like anything I type here. Yeah. Let me first get the element first. So let me say my box equals to document dot get element by ID. So what's the ID of the text area? Okay, we have to give it an ID so that we can fetch from there. ID my text. So we get the ID. Put that here. Yeah. Then we'll do dot value. Console log this, because I think text area is not be giving value. So let me just hey. Okay, yeah, you can see it worked. So now what I did is document.get element by ID, then my text. I was able to like target what was it called? The text, what I've written inside this text area. Then I stored it in my box. Let my box equals to this. Then I console log it. So if I should type Malik goes to school, Malik Omowe. So if I should click on tweet now, you see we are having it on the console. That's because we console logged it. But that's not what we want. We want our users to be able, my followers to be able to see. So I can do document dot get element by ID. So what's the name of that paragraph where we want to be storing it? This is it. So we gave it my tweet. Copy. So I can now say I can now say dot this dot inner text equals to my box, which is the value that is coming from my box. Yeah. So let me. So now if I should write my first unofficial tweet, instead of me sending it to the console, I want to display it here. You guys can see it, right? Can you guys see it?
Yes.
So now that's it. If I should write another thing now and click this, it goes there. So I can still want to like take it further again. Let's say why is it cleaning the previous ones? Because it's fetching it and replacing it. So we can do what something like I think dot append, instead of doing inner text, dot append. Let me see if this is going to work. Okay, it should be dot append child, but this is not a child. A paragraph. Let me change it to a div. Let's change this to a div. Yeah. So we have to change this to a dot append child. We have to like create a paragraph for it to work. So this now. Okay, let's do it this way. We have a, let me control Z this back to P. Yeah, so let's have another div here. Let's call it, let's give it an ID container. So now we can now say also we can now say, so after inner text, let's be sure this is working. Rest. AI is working. So let's store it is working. So let me now fetch it. Since it's working, let me fetch it. Let me say let new paragraph equals to document dot, what's the p tag? The p tag is my tweet. Yeah, my tweets documents dot get element by ID. Yeah, my tweet. My tweet. Then I want to append. So I can now say document dot get element by ID. What's the ID of that div? Container. So I can now say container dot append. Then I want to append a new para to it. I hope this works. So waste 2. Oh, it's still changing it. Okay, let's use append child. Waste. Still changing it. I just want it to come out as a list. Let me change it to class. Maybe it's going to work. But like, you guys understand the gist, right? Container.
We are following.
Get element by class name. So it's not appending it. So what I want to do is I just want to like list the, what's it called, the new tweet out instead of just replacing the old one. Get element my tweet, the inner, the head, then get this document. But yeah, so this is just how to like manipulate done. It's nothing much. Just probably need to just practice it first tweet. So any question on this?
Please, what's the difference between document.query selector and query selector?
Okay, yeah, query selector will I think it's going to like select a particular the particular ID you're going to give it. Then query selector is going to like select all query. I know query selector does select all the class name you give. And let me check what the first one does. Okay, get the first one, then all gets everything. Yeah. So now if you do query selector of p tag now, it gets the first p tag for you. Yeah. But if you do query selector all of p tag, so it gets all the p tags in the, what's it called, in the file. So let's say we do, how many p tags do we have here? We have 1, 2. So let's do document dot query selector. Let's see what's going to give us. So you can see, give us the first p tag, yeah, and we have about 3 p tag on the page. So now let's change it to query selector all. can see it gave us the first one and the second one. You can see. Yeah. Does that answer your question? So the query selector will just give you the first one on the list of the, what's it called, the tag you want to like get. Then query selector all will give you the all tags that you want that make reference to the particular one. So if it is p tag or a div or an anchor tag, so anyone is going to select everything for you. Yeah. Any other question? Or we should check the next question on the form. Probably it's not going to be something long. Okay, Olabisi. Okay, yeah. So the next question on the form is, Olabisi said, I read about use strict in JavaScript and I noticed we are never taught. Is it that it's not necessary? If it is, when is it required to use it and how do we use it? Yeah, it's not really required actually, because I can't even remember the last time I used it. But then basically what it does is if you don't like use if you don't put this keyword use strict on your JavaScript file, if you don't declare a variable, yeah, you can use it. Take for instance now, I can say x equals to 7. Yeah, I can say console and say console.log x. And we see the 7 here. But if I should put use script here now, it won't allow me to do that. Let me use script. You can see that it threw an error. Can we all see it? On Court's reference, X is not defined. That's because I'm using strict. So I'm like telling JavaScript that, okay, if the strict is all this variable I'm declaring. So if I don't declare the variable, don't accept it. So for me to like correct this now, I will have to say something like, okay, let x equals to this or const. So you can see that the error has gone out. Yeah. So that is that about that. The next one is, we have less than 15 minutes. So the next one, she said she's having problems with map being used in a function. How does it work? So yeah, so map is one of the loop methods that we have, but basically for an array. Yeah, if I say, let me go and copy this person object. If I have this person object now, if I say person dot map, log, this is going to throw an error. Yeah, we can see person.map is not a function. So .map now, we can only use .map on an array. Yeah, so you can't use .map on an object. So if I have an array now, let's say array of variables, it can be anything. So I want to loop through these variables in an array. That's when you can use .map. So now let's declare an array. Let our array equals to this. Let's say Web3 orange null true 254 what again. Let me put an object that is age was 20. So we have an array of of variables. We have string, null, true, number, then objects. So now, if I want to like loop through this now, as we discussed yesterday, we talked about for loop. Yeah, I can map through this with for loop, yeah. But then later on, I think around EX is that's EX 2016, they now came up with map. Instead of me writing for loop, I can just like map through this. I can loop through this array now by using dot map. Yeah. So now, how do we use dot map? I will now say my array. What's the name? Our array dot map. So now inside this dot map, now I made mention of a callback function. Now our array is an array. Then this map now is for looping through the array. So inside this map now, you have to pull a callback function in it. That's what is going to happen when I'm looping through. We know that when we have a for loop, yeah, when we have a for loop, yeah, once the condition is met, it's going to like enter the block and do something. So now that's the same thing we want trying to do here. And okay, I have an array, our array dot map. I want to loop through this array 1, 2, 3, 4. So when I'm looping through, what should I do? Yeah. So now that is what we call a callback function. Like, okay, I'm looping through this array. Now what should I do? Okay, do this. So you now put a function inside it. So you can do like this, then ex6, then this. Now this is going to be a little bit confusing. Let me write it again. So what you do is our array dot map, then you close this bracket. Then inside here now you're supposed to like have a function that will do something. Yeah. So this function now will now be it's just like inside here. I want to say const Malik, and I declare a function in it. I'm just trying to like use this as an example. It's not going to work because this is not the syntax. But this is basically what I'm trying to do. I have this bracket, our array dot map. I have this first bracket. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Yeah.
JavaScript can be so funny. You guys should not worry. It's going to get better. Yeah. So that's why we said JavaScript, you can't really like get to like understand it in 3 or 4 weeks. You need time to like practice very well, go through it. So you might be looking at my GK now, but once you start practicing it, it's going to like get better. So now this is the first one I typed. Then we want to like put a function inside. Like, okay, I created a function outside. Let's assume I created this kind of a function outside. You all know how to create a function. Yeah, this is a function. So let's assume I want to just take this function now and put it inside this bracket. So that's what I did. But since we know it's a function, we don't need to write this. And that is where what we call anonymous function comes in. An anonymous function is a function that does not have a name. Yeah. Let me take that again. I have a function Malik here now. I declare the function. The name of the function is Malik. Yeah. So now I have an array, our array dot map. Yeah. So this is how to write the syntax. So now I want to take this function now and put it inside here. All I have to do is just to cut it. Yeah. And paste it inside. That's how it looks, right? So I've joined our array.map together with the function. Yeah. But now that function does not need a name. We don't need to write this. That's why we remove it. Then when you remove it, so it becomes something like this. You can see this and this now are the same. So now this is what we call anonymous function. It's a function but without a name. So when you like do a callback function that does not have a name, it is called anonymous function. A function that does not have a name, from the word anonymous, we all know anonymous. Okay, I want to stay anonymous. I don't want anybody to know my name. I don't want anybody to know who I am. Like, I don't want to show my face. Yeah, anonymous. Yeah, so this is an anonymous function. The function does not have a name. So now, after doing this, we now say, okay, this function now is what is going to be applied on every, what we want to achieve is to map through this array. Yeah, so now this is the first one, do something. This is the second one, do something. Third one, fourth one, fifth one, sixth one, do something. So now that thing that will be done on each of these values is this function. This function now. So when I get here, I'll call this function, do something. When I get to this position 2, I'll call this function, do something for me. When I get to this position 3, call this function again. When I get to position 4, call this function. So now if I merge those two, the array and the map and the function, this is how it looks like. So let me comment this out. So we understand how we got to this level now. We've merged the two together. So now, for this first item now, second item, third item, so we can use the word item. So this word I'm using here can be anything. So this word item is just referring to this. When I get to this place, you know, in for loop.
Hello.
So starting from
Missed you for a few seconds.
yes, a call came into my line, sorry. So when we did for loop, you know, we make reference to I. That's why we are console logging the I the other time. Yeah, so now, so that I now is making reference to every value that we have when we started from 0, 1, 2. So now this item now can be anything, but what the item is referring to is every point, every item inside the array. So we have the first item, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, the sixth one. What have I done? Yeah, so now that is, so this word item can be anything. I can change it to lady. So this lady now is just going to like represent this value here at the first instance, then the second instance. So it can be anything, but you want to like use what is descriptive so that anybody that is reading your what's it called, your code base will know, okay, this is what you're trying to. So we can use the word item, and I can now say, okay, now this item, now for every item that I have in the, what's it called, in the array, what should I do? Let's start with console.log. Console.log item. So if I should save this now, it will just print all the item on the console. You can see. Let me, where is this 7 coming from? So we can see that we have Web3 ladies, Web3 orange, null, true, 2, 3, 4, then the objects, age 20. So what it basically is, started from Web3, then after that, console log Web3, then move to orange, console log this. So this is what map does. It maps through the array, and anything you want to do on individual item, you can like do anything. So I can say I want to, instead of just, I can say I want to check the type of every item. So now on the console now, we'll see type of is not defined. Is it not like this? Or it's capital O? Oh, sorry, typo error. Type of item. So we can see. So now the first one, which is Web3, is a string. Yeah, the second one is also a string. That's why it printed string twice. Then the third one is seeing null as an object. Then the fourth one, true, a boolean. Then the fifth one, a number. Can see it. Then the last one is an object. Yeah, so that's it. You can also decide, okay, you want to like check their index. So there's one other thing that comes with map, the index of the item, that's the position they are. So I can just do comma index here. It takes in second parameter. So I can do console, instead of console logging the items, I can say I want to check, I want to know the index. So it's going to print the index for me. So we know that array starts from 0. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So I hope you guys understand how map works now.
Yes, thank you very much. But if I want to get the first item, maybe like Web3, how will I do it? Maybe I want to get only the first item.
Yeah, if you want to get the first item, let's assume you want to get the first item, you don't even need to like map through it. Yeah, you can just do console.log, because you know that the array has already been defined, our array. Then you just get at position 0. You get the gist. It's going to print red. But let's assume let's assume the teacher or the owner of the code will say you must use map. Yeah. So what you want to just do is you want only the first one. Yeah. So you're probably going to put a condition that's okay. Oh, after what was it called? After the first index, you just want to like discard the rest. Yeah. So you can do something like because a map will always another thing is a map will always return the
Hello, Mr. Malik, are you there?